hair growth that you do, so mine would be all patchy and gross, but we could try it out, one month and see how it goes.
All right, YongHwa has a record that's almost as bad as Hydra's in SPL. He's 2-6, right? He's not won a single map against Zerg. He's only played one time, but he lost it. He's the round of 32 shoe-in in Code S. He never gets out, but he always gets in. He never advances past that, but he always gets to the round of 32. Now, Hydra's 1-5. He's 0-4 against Protoss.
That's a really bad ranking to come in here against a Protoss player like YongHwa, a guy who consistently makes it to Code S. Even if he's not having the greatest season here at Pro League, he's still a very strong Protoss. And to be 0-4 versus Protoss, I recall him trying to attack with Hydras and just being squished into a little ball by parting and just parting saying no.
Yeah, well, that's what parting does in general. But still, I mean, he's had a lot of failed attempts. Hydra, we talked about this from the very beginning of the season. His style is predictable. He's just going to hit a timing that's aggressive in the mid-game, and that seems to be the only thing he knows what to do. And I feel like that gives YongHwa an edge here. Well, let's go into map number 1 on the King Sejong station to find out which of these teams is going to take that 1-0 lead.
LTA는 SK텔레콤.
Up here to start things off in the top left. In the blue, the Protoss for IM, it is YongHwa.
Going by his name. Sounds similar to movie, but it's not. Don't be confused. And to the bottom, of course, Hydra. Known for his Hydralist.
That sounds very weird if people don't know you're talking about Korean.
Yeah.
You're like, no, YongHwa,
it's YongHwa
movie?
versus
What?
YongHwa. But actually, when I first came to Korea, I thought his name was spelled actually like YongHwa, like the movie. So I told everybody that his ID meant movie. On like my first cast when I first came to Korea, got so many angry tweets. No, it's not. I learned a lesson the hard way.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine the tweets you got.
Wasn't even at Korea for 2 weeks, but he thinks he knows everything.
Don't just assume you know this.
Well, we're gonna have a fast drone scout here. He's not messing around.
Yeah, he wants to be safe. He's going to send that drone across the map and see exactly what YongHwa is building at his base. We've got to make sure he's not going for any cheeses. He's going to see that the pylon there at the top of the ramp, and he's going to be like, oh, okay, you could drop a forge, but I could block it as well.
He's going to block the forge, actually, yeah. At least attempt to.
Oh, he doesn't block it.
That's a nice forge drop there.
But he does see it. Does know the forge is on the way at least. So he's going to drop that pool, of course. Cannot drop that hatchery first. It'll be very, very dangerous.
Yeah. And this kind of hurts, actually. The thing is, if he just went for... If he was like, oh, drone's here, guess I'll not make a forge, and the drone's just going to block his nexus, and he already lost so much mine time sending the probe down early to make the forge. He kind of has to make the forge and then take a nexus. It's just one of those things. How he gets here, he's not even going to go into the main base. The drone hides himself, which is pretty sneaky. It doesn't really matter. I guess the probe might have been able to block if he didn't hide. But as it is now, he's just like, well, okay. Drone still blocks the nexus here. This is the worst possible scenario for a Protoss to open up with the forge. Even the drone escapes.
Yeah, drone escapes with just barely enough health regens at the last moment. Does get his nexus up, but like you said, not in a great position here.
Yeah. Well, this game is going to take a turn for the slow one. It's going to be a little bit of a longer build up here.
Yeah, especially going forwards first. It's going to be a while before that cybernetics core comes out. We're going to take a little bit of time before we see exactly what tech is coming out of the Protoss. And usually out of the Zerg, maybe you see a fast third, maybe you see some 2-base timings. It's very rare, but...
Well, as such, Brennan, I want to ask you a question. Who is currently your favorite Heroes of the Storm hero?
That would be Uther. Uther's a guy that I've had a lot of fun with. He's listed as easy to play, and I have to be honest, he's not too hard to play. He's just really, really strong, and his skill set is very well put together, I feel. And I've had a lot of fun playing him. He's one of the first heroes I played.
So do you mean Uther, or do you mean the Ghost of Uther? Which one is more fun to play?
Ghost of Uther is actually just OP if you get the upgrade for that. People just don't expect it, and I get like double kills in my Ghost. It's great. especially when they kill me first.
I've been liking Falstad, man.
Yeah.
I'm flying all over the map.
Falstad was the second guy I played, and I was like, whoa, this guy is so OP.
Well, the first time you play him, you're like, oh, I can fly, okay, whatever. And then you're like, wait a minute, I can fly
like,
how
wait,
far? How fast does that
fly.
go? And your flying cannot be interrupted by attack. So if you have enough hit points and you suddenly start people try to come gank you, you're just like, nope, and you fly away to the other side of the map.
Like, nope, I'm gone.
Definitely check out some of the Heroes content that's out there, guys, if you like that genre of game, outside of StarCraft.
It's also very different from other MOBAs. No items, very different play styles, a lot of objectives. So definitely check that out. A lot of people are streaming it. I'm streaming it. You're streaming it.
Yeah.
We're all having a good time playing it together in the technical alpha. So definitely check that out if you guys want to.
Well, now that we've bantered a little bit, gone off to the side, let's swing back around because that core is done. Starts a sentry very early here, and we'll add a robotics as well, leading itself to possibly be an immortal timing. With the sentry that comes out early, it starts to build energy up very quickly, and also it could potentially be a sentry drop. We've seen on this map before. It's tough to get that in there without it being scouted. If he swings around the right side of the map, maybe he can get through that way.
That's the way to do it on this map. Like, if you come to the left side, you go over that third base, and the Zerg gets a little sniff of what's going on. He's like, oh, you're going to drop at my main with the sentries, and he gets some units up into the main, and he just gets, very good situation. The Protoss is not in a good situation if that fails.
He's actually also cut the mothership core out, as far as I can tell, so he gets a faster sentries. There's Sejong and Barbie, our interview girls. The one on the left, of course, being Sejong the translator. You guys probably recognize Barbie. And it is going to be a Warp Prism drop, man. And it's... I like the idea. Let's see how many gates he adds. Adds a Stargate.
That's the wrong... 2 Stargates.
What?
What is this?
Well, this is interesting, to say the least. So he's not going to actually go for a Warpin in the main. He's just going to drop and do Force Fields to snipe the Queen at the natural. Then he's going to follow this up with some harassment. He didn't click on that. I am like 90% certain he did not click on that. All right, so
He didn't see the second one as well.
he needs to figure this out, because if he doesn't know, I mean, I'm like theorycrafting right now. What if he goes double Oracle after sniping the Queen or something, or even Void Rays? This could be bad. Let's see how much damage he gets done. Can he snipe the Queen? How many drones does he get? Here we go. Force Fields and Zealots even to come and help out. The Roaches, on the other hand, going to make this a lot easier to defend. He doesn't actually get anything here. Well, Zealot says, no, I'm getting a drone, but doesn't get the Queen, which is really important, I think, for the plan that he had set up here.
Yeah, and now this Warp Prism is kind of awkwardly flying around the base. He's not going to be able to force field the ramp in here. He's going to try to come to the third, but these Zerglings and the Roaches are just going to follow up and force them back. No damage done with that. The follow-up here is Phoenixes. He's making 2 at a time. It's going to be definitely safe against any Mutaplay.
This is very young Shik, right? I mean, he's going off of 2 base into the third with the double Stargate. He's going to go heavy on the Phoenixes. So much so that Hydralists are not even that great for the defense when they're in low numbers, because he's going to be able to outproduce the Hydras for a long time. Hydra range is being researched right now, and he starts 5 of them. There's going to be less Hydralists than Phoenixes, and that's not a good place to be.
No. If you get enough Phoenixes into the main of your opponents, you can just start picking up Hydras, you can start picking up Queens, then you go to drones, and if you continuously pump out those Phoenixes that have such a low build time, especially with the Chrono Boost, you can get so many so fast. Say you get 8 in there after the next 2 come out. You can go into the base, even if they have range, speed, whatever. You can do so much damage. He's got to be very careful, group up those Hydras.
And he's going to force Corruptors out. Now, with the Corruptors coming out, he already has the infrastructure prepared to make Void Rays to counter them. The Corruptors are not going to be very useful combat-wise to assault the third base before the Colossi are even out, so this really messes up with the tempo of the Zerg. Now, what I really do like is that he takes a 4th base here. The 4th hatch will complete now. And with the 4th hatch, you can't lift a hatch. You can kill drones, you can stop transfers over there. And he starts 17 drones, because you know the Phoenixes are not going to kill him straight up. There's no timing attack where Phoenixes win the game.
Yeah, this is something you can do as Zerg when you're facing a bunch of Phoenixes. Once you feel safe against it, you have enough anti-air, you're like, oh, okay, I'll just make a bunch of drones. Even if you kill a bunch of my drones, I'll still have a lot left over. So he's going to be in a very good position here, especially with that 4th base coming up with all of these drones. He's getting Swarm Host upgrades up right now. Hydra's looking pretty good.
I don't know what happened. I think he lost some Phoenixes. Right? Because that Phoenix count looked a little bit small. I was thinking he could probably fight a group of 4 or 5 Hydras, but he ran away from them. I think he might have lost some Phoenixes.
I think he just stopped at 6.
Yeah, he quit at 6. Okay, so he didn't go up to 8. He's going to be able to kill this Hydra. Sorry.
Hydra's trying to mine gas. No, Hydra, you can't do that.
Hydra's making Hydras.
Both Hydras.
Yeah.
Hydra the player and Hydra the unit.
Well, I mean, there's double Void Rays now being added to deal with those Corruptors that are surely going to be popping out pretty soon. That's actually what I really like about Hydra's play here. He's actually avoided making the Corruptors. He's like, no, I just won't do it. I won't make them. That's what you expect me to do.
Can't make you do it.
And it looks, I think he's making them now, but he's waited till the last second to do so. He's just relying on stag defenses and queens. No, actually goes in the Swarm Host here. I mean, he's been preparing that for a while, but he's cut Corruptors out of the equation. He knows that Void Ray production is pretty strong behind this as well with all those Stargates.
Yeah. Double Twilight Council coming out here.
Whoa,
Probably a mistake.
new meta.
I do not think he's going to go for Blink and Charge at the same time. Unfortunate mistake here for YongHwa. Maybe a bit of nerves coming in through here. The Blink does get started right when that first one finishes, but the second one is going to finish.
Yeah, as far as we can tell anyway. That's an Ursadoc. Seki Ursadoc. It's a baby Ursadoc.
Baby one.
Not the male one or the female one. It's not the panda bear guy.
We're getting a good look at this Ursadoc. And Hydra has a very good position right now. He has a 5th base now against the 3 YongHwa. He has the Swarm Host up on the high ground there. This map is so good for Zerg. If they can secure that 5th base and get Swarm Host out, they get into such a good position.
Now the Corruptors are being added. That Overlord is being subtracted. Sorry, little guy. Now, I mean, Hive is coming up here, adding more Corruptors in. And with the Hive, we can see various switches. Probably the Vipers first, I would expect, because with Vipers, that's how you fight this composition when you have a low Corruptor count. And you saw some Hydras in the mix. Well, this little piggy went not to market or home or anywhere. Goodbye.
Just in the air and into outer space. Disintegrating into multiple pieces.
Well, let's see. I mean, this push coming out here is pretty strong. I think he might just have enough anti or AoE damage to push his way through here. I'm not so sure Hydra's going to be able to keep his base alive.
Yeah, he got a total of, I think, 9 Swarm Hosts, which is not so much if you look at the army of YongHwa right now. He has a bunch of Colossi, he has the Void Rays as well, ton of Stalkers, even those extra Phoenixes to pick up units.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Upgrades are pretty behind for YongHwa, but let's see how much damage he gets done here. These static defenses are just a few seconds too late. Void Rays need to commit or not. He decides to walk back. He needs to save that Mothership Core as well. It's a very slow-moving air unit. Does not want that to get picked off. It's very key in his ability to recall and or time warp. Now he's basically right on top of these Swarm Hosts. Does he have an Observer with his army? He does, in fact. And here we go. Corruptors coming in. Commit. Goodbye, Mothership Core.
Mothership Core goes down for nothing. There are so many Corruptors in this fight, but look at this. The Blink Stalker's coming over and taking out one by one. But meanwhile, the Corruptor's doing a ton of damage to the Void Rays.
Yeah, he's fighting. He's fighting the Voids, but he doesn't fight the Colossi. Sorry to cut you off there. And this means the Colossi do so much damage, but does he have enough to push through the next wave of Locusts? That's the question, because if he does, he can blink up here on top of the Swarmos. Does he commit to it? I don't think he's confident enough to. He's considered it. But this ends up being a pretty okay trade for Hydra. He keeps most of his Corruptors alive. He has 13 more on the way. Can he snipe the Spire? That would be huge. No more Corruptors after this.
Decides not to go for the Spire, does not focus on it, but look at this. So many of these Zealots coming in. I would wish he would love to go for these tech buildings, but actually just goes for the Queen and some drones.
That's Hydra like, well, I'm just going to make a Greater Spire in the face of a Warping of 12 Zealots. This base attacked, meanwhile. Second Spire is started. Not because of fear of losing the first one, I feel, but more so because he wants to do double upgrades.
Yeah. And in the meanwhile, going for Templar Archives is YongHwa. He's going to want those Archons, maybe even Storm for the Locust. Extra AoE in your comp is always good.
Kind of disappointed in YongHwa in this game, to be honest, in a few ways. One being that, for example, he didn't research Charge, which would have helped him so much with that warp in the main base. He also didn't focus. He's made double Twilight Council. He's making a lot of very little mistakes that are starting to add up here, whereas Hydra is hitting his upgrades pretty hard, right? He's about to have +3 Carapace. He's got +3 missiles for his Locust coming out. Double Spire is about to help with the upgrades.
Yeah, whereas YongHwa has +1 to ground attack.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. He doesn't even have area upgrades. He doesn't have anything.
He's playing so sloppy here. Well, here we go. He's going to just engage into this straight up. He's got a huge Blink Stalker army, but only 2 Colossi, and they're just being erased by the Corruptors. Now there's no AoE. The next wave of Locust should in itself be enough to ward this off. And now YongHwa needs to, rightfully so, move down to the left side of the map and try to pick off this base. There's a lot of static defense waiting for him over there, though, and he may find himself sandwiched between a rock and a hard place. He needs to outmaneuver this Zerg army. So many Hydras and Spine Crawlers here, though. I don't think he's breaking through. Look at the Locust at the back doing damage here. No upgrades really on this Protoss army, just the +1. The Warp Prism's going to fall here as well, and I think this is actually just going to be game.
Yeah, he's going up against all these Spine Crawlers and the extra Hydras coming out here. Hydra has a bunch more units coming out as well. All of this is going down. Look at the supply of YongHwa is going to go down as well. Trying to blink away, trying to micro here, but it's not going to be enough. He has only Stalkers now against Swarm Hosts and Broodlords.
You know, I'm sad your name's on this one, Brendan, for that.
Yeah, I am as well.
You know, I feel like I'm the only one who had faith that YongHwa was going to take this, but he's played a relatively disappointing game. His answer to this is like, okay, I'll add a Fleet Beacon. 3 base economy, no area of effect, army supply 38, and his answer is the Fleet Beacon. He needs more time, and Hydra is certainly not going to give it to him. 5 Stalkers subtracted from that army supply. We'll lose that last one. Broodlord sieging up the natural. It's time to type out YongHwa. Not the best game we've seen from him, that is for sure. Hydra plays solid, though. He's out of his slump. He did stop his losing streak, and he will now take his very first win against Protoss. Well played.
Yeah, very well played. He's going to come in here and finish it. All these Broodlords just coming in as well as the Locust.
Going to get the Cybernetics Core. Those 2 Void Rays not going to change the tide of battle.
No, they're going to try, but they're not going to do much.
Not with the Queens here.
Can't respect them here.
No. Certainly not. Zealot's still lacking charge, as you can see.
Yeah.
That's it. This game,
yeah,
there never was a game that was more over than this one. Void Rays charge up. They're going to go for the Swarm Hosts. No, they're going for the Broodlords, but there's just too much Queens, too many Hydras here, and that's it. Bye-bye Stalkers. The Archons here. Say goodbye to them as well, and say goodbye to YongHwa here in game number 1. It's CJ Entis and Hydra. We will take the 1-0 lead. GG.
Good game out of Hydra. Played the map very well to his race. Taking that base a bit early with the transition into Swarm Host. I really like that composition. I just feel like this game really came down to YongHwa making a bunch of mistakes. No upgrades, no charge. Not the greatest composition against what the Hydra had as well.
His +1 was like so late.
Yeah. And he only had +1.
And then he only got +1. He made 2 Twilight Councils. He didn't have charge. This is like one of those games where I go, if I went and talked to YongHwa personally after this, he'd probably just tell me that he was in a bad condition today. Like, he just was not feeling good. Like, his mind was not in the right place. That was just a weird game. Yeah. That game looked like something we'd see out of a first-time Prime player who's like never played in the booth before.
That's like a Terror Prime game, man.
Yeah, that was shockingly bad, actually.
Yeah.
To put it in a brutally honest way.
Frank.
Yeah.